testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. Thank you. Please have a seat.
The Second Judicial District Court, the state of that is now in session. Honorable Barry Breslow presiding.
Thank you, Deputy. Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. We're on the record in Mr. Hante's case. I'm here with Mr. Handte, Mr. Silverberg, Mr. Stege. Good morning to you all.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right. I asked for this hearing because after I thought about Mr. Hante's status and the concern he raised financially at the last hearing, it occurred to the court that if he was willing to, under oath, identify his financial assets and also current monthly income and outflow statement, and if it demonstrated a financial challenge to make the weekly or monthly intercept payments, I would consider alternatives pending trial to having him wear the monitoring device, have him checking more frequently, for example, and that way ensure he would report for all court hearings and trial, which I know he's appeared, so that's not an issue, and that he wasn't doing things he ought not to be doing pending trial. So, sua sponte, the court said, let's have a hearing about that. In the interim, I learned he was able to come with the funds to allow him to be current with Intercept for at least a few more weeks. I believe the next payment is due tomorrow, somewhere under $100. But I'm willing to listen to alternatives and consider them in lieu of wearing the device pending the trial. Now, but I didn't see anything filed by Mr. Handte, so either he chose not to, or he's able to come up with the money, or I'm not sure what. So Mr. Silverberg, what's his status? Because I don't like having these hearings any more than anybody else. We have other things to do, so.
I think this is my fault. I remember the court ordering the financial declaration.
Yeah.
I thought that was something that was done with pretrial and that would happen, and that's not the case.
It's not complex. Somebody needs to go to the internet, print out a short form, have them fill it out, swear that it's truthful, submit it to the court, and I can take it up, but.
That'd be great. I'll make sure that we get that.
Okay, so when can we have this hearing then? And when's the next payment due? And Mr. Handte, do you have funds to pay for the next couple of weeks?
I've already made payment. There's payment due tomorrow. I'll see if I can borrow the money again. I borrowed the money last time.
If we could set this out for 2 weeks, Your Honor, 2 to 3 weeks. This week's already almost done. On a short week, I can get him the form, hopefully have it filled out next week and get it filed, and then maybe have a hearing a week after that.
I don't have access to the internet.
Say it again.
I don't have access to the internet unless I go somewhere and pull up the hotspot. I don't have internet access.
I'll see if I can.
This is a manageable challenge here. We get a form, fill out the form, file the form under seal. It's sworn that this accurately reflects the money you have available or assets, and this is your monthly income and expenses. And then I'll take that up and we'll determine next time I see you if an alternative to an intercept device will ensure public safety and account for your financial challenges. I don't do this for everybody, but in light of the fact that you've been in every court appearance, you've expressed frustration and concern at your ability to make a living. I'm not trying to interfere with that. I just want to find the right balance here. Mr. Stege, what do you think?
I'm okay with that. What I'd like to do is present evidence today that I think bears on this subject. Precisely that Mr. Handte has switched from the more affordable DAS GPS system to the more expensive, less inspiring Intercept. So I'd like to present evidence, a brief.
Well, I don't want to hear it today. Let's do it all at the same time next week. Unless you have somebody here.
I have somebody here.
Oh, well, that's different. Then I'll hear from them. But wasn't he behind a couple $1,000s on the other one? And so that might have factored into why he's with Intercept now?
I expect the testimony they will work with him. They're more flexible than Intercept. They're cheaper than Intercept. Their response time is faster than Intercept. They may also be able to speak to sort of other issues with Mr. Handte.
Well, make an offer of proof on what this person would say, because if the defense says, Judge, you can assume that factually, we don't have to examine or cross-examine the person.
That, I don't know the exact numbers, that the DAS.
Well, let's have, they're here. We wouldn't have them please come forward. I'm kind of reversing
Your
myself.
Honor, I would just object to any testimony that goes beyond the financials at this point. It seems like Mr.
Well, this
Stege
is
has something else he wants to play with Mr. Handte did.
I want to get to, go ahead.
I'm just going by what Mr. Stege said. He wants to bring up other issues with Mr. Handte. That's not what we're here for. If this gentleman wants to testify about the financials and it's more affordable and that they're willing to work with Mr. Handte.
Well, that's my
That's
understanding.
great.
That is, but the idea that the court sua sponte is considering releasing this man off GPS. I want every opportunity to explain why that should not happen.
Well, that will be reserved for after I get some financial information and make an informed decision.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So with that, because we have somebody here,
This is
sir,
Officer
please.
Donnan, D-O-N-N-A-N.
You saw Mr. Orford, the testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, thank you. Please have a seat. Deputy, please make sure the microphone is in opposition. It looks like it is. Okay, thank you. And when you're ready, please slide in. You can actually grab the microphone, it adjusts, get pretty close to it. Please tell us your name.
It's Officer Donnan.
How do you spell your last name?
It's D-O-N-N-A-N.
Very good, Officer Donnan. Mr. Stege, you may proceed. Financial issues only.
Yes, you're with DAS?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been with DAS?
Almost a year now.
And are you familiar with the GPS monitoring capabilities of DAS?
Yes,
And DAS has a history of working with Mr. Handte on GPS, correct?
correct, yes.
And are you aware of the cost of DAS GPS monitoring?
Yes,
What is it?
it's $8 a day.
Are you also aware of the cost of Intersect GPS?
I believe it's in the neighborhood of $90 a week, I believe.
Okay. And historically, are you aware that is DAS more affordable than Intercept GPS?
Yes,
And what about, because you deal with people who are being supervised as part of your daily duties, right?
yes.
And are you aware of sort of the extent to which DAS will work with people's financial situations versus Intercept?
Yeah, Intercept's more of a vendor, a private business, so they don't really work with people. We do work with people
Okay,
to a certain extent.
yeah, and so like if someone has having financial difficulties, how does DAS work with people who are on DAS GPS monitoring?
Typically just keep a balance and will request a certain amount, something reasonable just to keep their account open and active.
And so is it fair to say that as long as someone on GPS works with DAS will work with them?
Correct, yes.
Does DAS, are they in the habit of bringing cases before the judge and kicking people off GPS because they're not making payments?
No,
So DAS, is it fair to say DAS will maybe take a financial loss to keep someone on GPS?
I would say that's accurate.
Do you have any knowledge of why, and in fact, DAS has supervised Mr. Handte, correct?
Yes,
And with success in the past.
yes.
Let me interject a question, please. Maybe I have this wrong, and if so, straighten me out. But my understanding was that DAS had been working with Mr. Handte. Eventually, his balance grew to somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. Somebody there said, well, time's up, because he's not making at least some modest payments under his financial conditions, and so the bank is closed. Right? And then I'm going to assume, he can clarify, or his counsel in a moment, that he went to Intercept because he got a new line of credit or a new opportunity. More expensive? Sure. $11 a day instead of $8. But at least they're willing to or start over with him and started working with him. Now, I don't know if he's current, completely current, working with them, but if it went back to DAS, how would you handle the fact that he has a balance of about $2,500 plus or minus, unless I have that number wrong?
It's 3,420.
Okay, so I was light. So, I mean, by work with him, do you say, look, how much you're earning, how much you need for food, clothes, medicine, transportation, life necessities, and what can you afford, what's left over? And if you can make some reasonable amount on that, we're good to go?
Well, I spoke to the chief earlier this week, and he said he would like him to pay down his balance considerably, by a third, if possible. And
Well,
then make it for payments too.
That's over $1,000 that he might not have right now.
Right,
But if he was able to do that, then you would be in position to work with him going forward?
correct, yes.
All right, I understand what the point being.
Do you have any other insight into why Mr. Handte switched from DAS to Intercept?
I'm assuming it's his balance.
Do you know has he made any payments? So that you stated the current balance, were there other balances he paid off, or is he deliberately not, or has he never ever paid?
He's made a few payments,
Do you know the sort of size?
$200 range, maybe a $400. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. Is that total? He's paid 200 to 400?
I think it's total he paid 600.
Okay. Out of that, nearly 4,000.
Yes.
Okay. And any other sort of interactions related to, or is DAS aware of or monitor Mr. Hante's work situation?
Do we? Not necessarily.
Okay, or it wouldn't be you, it would be like maybe Mr. Meredith would know when Mr. Handte is working or that he is employed.
Right, I mean, we would have a schedule,
Okay.
but yeah, pre-trial would know.
And are you one of the officers who is monitoring the GPS of Mr. Handte?
Yes.
And has he, let's say over the time you've been monitoring him, has he, as a daily matter, been going to and from a work employment?
Objection, Your Honor, beyond this.
Well, this is, we're close to really, I have everything I need from this witness, but
Well, it answers the question of whether he has been employed.
well, so here's the thing, you know, if I accept Mr. Hante's representations, when he's employed, of course, money's not as tight. He's got income, he can pay for things, including make payments on his tracking device. But, you know, he's done some things that have caused the court to temporarily revoke his status, have him in the Washoe County Jail, and that's it. Predictably adversely impacted his ability to hold a steady job. Has he communicated with you about those concerns, or are you hearing that for the first time?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Mr. Handte about those concerns, no.
Okay. I have everything I need from this time, but you can ask him some questions too, Mr. Silverberg, if you'd like to.
Just very briefly, sir. You indicated you checked with your supervisor beforehand about what it would take for DAS to begin supervising Mr. Handte again?
Yes.
Okay, and that, is that some fixed fee schedule, or is that at the sole discretion of your supervisor?
Sole discretion.
Thank you, nothing further.
All right, and just so I'm clear, it's roughly to make the third payment down on the balance. The balance is $3,500, so we're talking somebody walks in with $1,200, and then from that point forward, put him back on there, work with him depending on his ability to pay. Is that fair?
That's fair, yes.
All right, any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you. You're excused. I appreciate you being here. Officer, wish you a pleasant afternoon. Thank you very much. Mr. Handte, how goes the job search? Are you currently working or looking for work? Or
I'm unemployed, Judge. Okay, I'm still looking for a job. I've been able to borrow some money to pay Intercept. I don't have $1,200. I don't have $120. And it's because I'm unemployed that I'm struggling.
Do you have a pension? Do you have unemployment money coming in?
As I stated previously to this court, unemployment takes a significant amount of time. As I've already been going through the process, the last time I applied for unemployment took me 5 to 6 weeks, if I remember correctly, to get an unemployment account set up.
Okay, and they require you to show proof that you're looking for work, right?
Correct.
Okay, which you are.
I am.
Well, Mr. Handte, one more time, the purpose of this hearing was going to be to talk about if you could show to the court's satisfaction, which includes an under oath financial statement, that you don't have the ability to pay for monitoring either with DAS or Intercept, I would consider alternates to having you monitored. We're not going to do that today. I don't have under oath something in writing to look at, or the state. The whole world doesn't get to see this. Your attorney files it, it's under seal. And you see it, he sees it, Mr. Stege in the court sees it. We'll talk about it next time I see you next week. In the meantime, stay current. If you, after good faith efforts, cannot pay for continuing monitoring the next week, I'm not going to revoke you for that fact alone. Well, we're going to make some important decisions on this the next time I see you. So here's my question. Which day works? How much time do you need? A week from tomorrow?
I can get Mr. Handte the financial declaration today or tomorrow. I'm sure assuming I can find something online that is pretty basic.
Well, the next hearing on this is going to be the last hearing on this subject, hopefully.
Okay.
So how about we make it a week from tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Mr. Handte, do your best to pay tomorrow, whatever you need to pay for the next week. I'll see you a week from tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock. Will that work for the state?
No.
What, all right.
I'm out next week, so that would be that week after.
The week after that would be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I believe.
I don't relish that date, but
Will you be here?
I will be
Will
here.
the defense be here? Mr. Handte, I'm assuming you'll be here. Let's meet the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, 10 o'clock in the morning. That'll give you time to prepare this document, prepare the time to get it filed, prepare the court to review it. Maybe your situation changes. Stay wearing the Intercept device unless after good faith efforts you're unable to pay. I'll take that into consideration next time I see you. So Ms. DeGainer, what date would that be, please?
It's November 21st at.
Okay, that's Tuesday, the 21st, 10 a.m.
Thank you.
And please get that filed under seal.
Will do.
All right, thank you very much. Court's in recess. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
All right.